when we were young, rice was eaten only at Christmas and festivities. It was not a staple in Ghana. The staples were our traditional foods, TZ and all that. But with westernization and let me take this thing off so that you can hear me. With westernization and modernization, rice has become a very convenient food because it takes a very short time to cook, and you can make your stews and things in advance. So when the parents come from work, and most families are working, the father is working, the mother is working, it is an easy food that you can make quickly so that the family can have a meal to eat. And then apart from that, it's become a very convenient food for fast foods. It's not easy to do fast food fufu or fast food banku or something. Our people are trying to do it, but it's not as easy as rice, you know. So rice has become a very critical commodity that we have looked at. And for me, coming from a family of rice growers, my father was one of the two first commercial rice farmers in Ghana and rice processors. My father was not only a rice grower, he also set up a processing plant, and he bought all the rice from all the outgrowers. And so when Ghana was self-sufficient in rice production in the 70s, my father was a key factor in it. And so rice has always had a very, important place in my attention, even when I was president. And so I'll give them a bit of history. I went on, I think it was National Youth Day, to go and visit a young cocoa farmer. We had decided that I'll spend the day with him and go to his farm and then spend the day with his family. And so we had lunch together and all that. And it was close to where Nana was. And so they said, oh, there's this chief who was in America. He has left everything and come back, and he's investing in the rice industry. He wants you to come and take a look at what he's doing. And that's how come I met Nana. And so I said, why not? I mean, today I cleared the day. I've spent it with a young cocoa farmer. Let me go see what he's also doing. And when I went, he met me. Took me to a small rice milling unit at the time. He had invested his money and brought a rice milling plant. And he had gathered the youth in his traditional area and given them support to grow the rice. He himself was growing some of the rice. And then he buys it all of them. And then he mills it. And then the market women come and take it. And I said, I mean, for somebody to have this belief and come and invest his own resources to do something like this, you need support. So at the time I told him, I said, look, we're going to set up the Ghana Exim facility, and when we do, you should be one of those that must be supported. Unfortunately, our Ghana Exim came at the tail end, when we're leaving office. I don't know if you've got the kind of support that you need, but I mean, for somebody like you, you're one of those who should have got it. But rice has become an important commodity, and it's being grown in all the regions of our country now. Formerly, it was mostly not the north, because of the level ground was the most ideal place. But now we have lowland valleys and things where rice can be grown, and they have more humidity and moisture. So places like the Volta region are becoming very, strong, competitors in the rice growing area, Western region and other places. And so we can exploit all that to grow more rice. But it takes people who have an interest in it, and government must step in, because it's not about growing the rice, it's about providing the processing facility to move the rice from the farm to the market. I mean, nobody goes and buys paddy rice to cook and eat. They want the rice, prepared so that they can just put it in the pot and cook it. And so between the farmers and the market, there must be enough processing capacity. And so in our time, we try to push processing. The Brazilian company, that set up the mill in Volta region, we encouraged them. They came as investors. We made them, invest. And so the Avnash, rice mill plant in Yankwala, the Avnash family came here, and I told them that, look, we want to recapture, rice production, so set up a rice milling plant for us And they did. That rice milling plant is there. It's a first-class rice mill. So we have the capacity to be able to produce enough rice to feed ourselves in this country and even to export, But it needs that government must, come in. Private sector alone cannot, raise the resources to be able to do it. And so I have said several times that we need a capacity to process. If you bring in the capacity to process, the farmers will rise to the occasion. Yes. Of course, fertilizer and things are expensive, but if they get a fair price, for the paddy, and the millers will get a fair markup for, processing and selling, it will be a win-win partnership, And so I do think that, yes, planting for food and jobs is a good thing, but we must look strategically at some crops for which, if we achieve self-sufficiency, it will help this economy. Right now, foreign exchange, our cedi is going down, the dollar is going up, and that is because of the amount of rice we're importing, the amount of palm oil we're importing, the amount of vegetable oils, the amount of chicken we're importing, and all this. And the point is, we have a comparative advantage to produce this. And so, as president, my aim was to make sure that we increased local production and curtailed, imports. And so, if you remember, in the poultry industry, we put quotas, and we said that you must buy this amount of local chicken before we allow you to import foreign chicken. And the importers agreed. And so, you must get a local poultry producer to sell that amount of poultry to you before you can import this amount. I mean, all that has been abandoned, and now the foreign chicken is coming in huge quantities a year. Some of the high-ups in government are the ones who are bringing all the frozen products. And the more frozen products in chicken and other things you bring, the more you reduce the employment in our system. Because, I mean, how much does it cost to grow chicken? I mean, if every chicken we eat, it means somebody frozen chicken from outside. It means we created the number of jobs that it costs to produce that chicken. And so, until we begin to look at a self-reliant, attitude, and also to look at import substitution for critical products, there are at least 6 or 7 products that we spend almost $2 billion every year importing. And can you imagine the number of jobs $2 billion will create in our economy if we were able to produce those things ourselves? So even without exporting oil and things, I mean, we got $2 billion entering this economy and producing jobs every year. It will be good. Look at Bronga-Afo area. They produce a lot of eggs and poultry and things, and we just need to assist them in terms of processing. Because the last time I went to Bronga-Afo, I said, nobody wants to go and buy a whole chicken and be walking to the house with the feathers and all that. And they say, and then they go and boil hot water, then you pluck the chicken. I mean, the modern spouses, and I'm being very politically correct, if they want gizzards, they want gizzards. If they want drumsticks, they want drumsticks. If they want backs, they want backs. If they want wings, they want wings. If they want a certain quality of rice, they want that quality of rice. So it is for us to rise to the occasion and produce what the market wants. Now, they say they like perfume rice. But we have the seed. We can produce that perfume rice for them. And I've eaten a lot of the local rice, and I don't see the difference between the local rice and the rice from Thailand or from Vietnam or all those places. So, for me, they say, when you're preaching in church and all your people are born again and converted, you don't have to talk much. I am converted. I'm one of you. And so I know the problems. I know the problems in your industry. Even harvesting capacity. The last time I went to the north and I visited a farm, they had used sickle to harvest the rice. And that's why you see me on some small tractor with this thing, what do you call it? A cutter in front of it. And I was driving it. We brought it in, and I wanted to test and see, because then it would stop them from using the sickle to cut. And it worked perfectly. It cuts the rice, it lays it to one side, and they just come and gather it, So if we had those machines, and the machines were there, but the farmers could not afford, and so give it to them on credit. Let them use it and let them pay a little by little, because these are one seasonal machines. When they use it to cut the rice, the machine is packed until the following year when they plant again, unless they are doing multiple crops. But in the north, they have one season. So once they cut, that's it. So give it to them on soft terms and let them pay back. But then after they have cut, then threshing becomes a problem. And what I was going to say was, I went to a farm and they had cut the rice and they had piled it. And you know what they were using to thresh the rice? They were riding over the rice with a tractor. And so the tractor's back tie, they go over it and go over it and go over it, and it breaks the rice off. But the point is, it also breaks the grain. And so you get broken rice instead of whole grain rice, So we know what the problems in there are. The problem is we need the political will, the knowledge, and the people on the ground, government support to help the farmers to be able to. We need to bring in combined harvesters. We need to bring in threshers. We need to bring in milling capacity.
100%.
And we should be able to, feed ourselves with rice production. So you are welcome again. I want to encourage you, continue to produce as you're doing. And the last I heard that the agriculture minister said they were bringing some processing mills and all that. If that comes, I think that will enhance processing capacity. But we need more combined harvesters, and good ones, not the ones that come and, there are some that are so poor quality. One season, they are not even able to work. It just goes a few, they say it gets choked. You have to go and de-choke this thing, do it again, it will go, it gets choked, there are places that have produced efficient combined harvesters that we know, And so we should import those machines from those places instead of looking for the cheaper options. Yeah. So thank you and welcome again. And Nana, well done.
Thank you. I've heard you a couple of times talk about it. That's the main reason why we came here. Personally, what you did in my village really helped a lot of women. The small field you saw me developing, we were able to develop it because of your help. And we were able to put over 30 women on the field to produce rice, and we are currently producing the rice in our field. Yeah. The Ghana Rice Interprofessional Body, or the rice industry in Ghana, is currently, we have progress in a way. I have seen a lot of fields being developed from the south all the way to the north by the members that we have. Currently, we want people like you to start, talk about Ghana rice more for us. You see, I've intentionally not to use the local rice. Yes. I use Ghana rice. So if you start using local rice, they think it's a poor quality, right? So we like to use Ghana rice. Yeah. Yes. Ghana rice is not being patronized by government institutions. If you go to programs, you see foreign rice there. Yeah. And I can tell you, currently, we have over 58. It's more, but the ones we have with our group, about 58 brands in the system now. Yeah. That if you want a very beautiful rice in a nice package, you get them. Yes, we have almost about 58 of them in the system now. So Ghana rice has come a long way. Now we can compete with the Thailand and the Vietnamese rice. I had an opportunity to go to Thailand just to study what they do in rice, and I don't think they are doing anything different from what we are doing here.